How's it going, everyone? So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a trade recap of the two trades that I took today, Monday, November 15th, Tesla short, RBLX to the long side, and made $575. So now let's get into the watch list. I was looking at Tesla, Netflix, Nvidia, RBLX, and ABNB. And now just to touch on the mental notes, I said that a lot of good looking stocks today. So obviously each day there's going to be stocks that are moving. It's hard to look at every single one of them. Some other names that I thought looked all right were Amazon, Home Depot looked good. It was consolidating towards all-time highs, but there's just a kind of an aspect of having to just choose the ones that you like. And that means that sometimes I'm going to miss decent setups on other names. Try not to have the FOMO, and then I'm really only focusing on 4 to 5. If there is 8, 9 that are moving, I can't look at all 9. If I look at that, I'm going to end up catching a whole bunch of nothing. So really, it's just committing to the few that I like and then realizing that I may miss some opportunities on the other ones, but that's okay. Try to find the best setups on the ones that I've committed to and then just accept it. What I do each morning is on my little notepad, I write the 6, 7, or 8 stocks that are moving, if they get any upgrades, if there's any news behind them, and then I really am just trying to condense it down to about 4 or 5. And sometimes those 4 or 5 are not as exciting as the ones that I've left out, but welcome to trading. It's hard to know exactly what's going to move well. I just try to do my best with that list each morning and then try to trade them to the best of my ability. Now let's get into the technicals, and I'll do Tesla and RBLX last since I traded those. So looking at Netflix, why I liked it, pretty self-explanatory. Nice move the prior day off the 9 EMA, the 20 SMA, and it's close to all-time high, which was 690.97. So if it made a new all-time high, I want to be a part of the trade. So really the main level that I was looking at was that pre-market high. If it took out pre-market high, was strong and held up, I felt like it had a chance to catch momentum. And now Nvidia, the reason why I like this is because the daily is still very strong and it had a handful of days of consolidation. So this 307, 308 area, just a big area of resistance. If it could break through that and the market was strong, I felt like maybe this had a chance to catch momentum as well because it's still very strong on the daily. And now Airbnb, which is a good looking daily chart. Look at that prior day, big momentum candle off the 9 EMA. Also realizing that that prior pivot resistance high was 211.34. So if it could take out prior day high, hold up, catch momentum, and then get through 211.34, I felt like this had a chance to have a really nice move today. And now Tesla, which has shown some weakness on the daily recently, below the 9 EMA, below the 20 SMA, 1,000, big psychological whole number, that prior low support area, 987.31. So just knowing that there were some big levels to the downside. And then as far as in the pre-market, nice period of consolidation, and the levels that I was looking for off the open were going to be that pre-market low. If it took that out and then it started to trend, knowing that it could get some selling pressure, and then pre-market high. If it were to take that out and go red to green, I didn't want to fight that. And now RBLX, which is a very strong daily chart, that's why I liked it, caught momentum the prior day above the 9 EMA, all-time high, 109.97. That was going to be a major level. It did make a new all-time high in the pre-market, so the next level to the upside was going to be pre-market high, which was 111.87. So now let's get into the actual trades, starting with Tesla. Had to push off the open, very quickly failed, got below the 9 EMA, and the VWAP on the 2-minute. Looks like a bit of a flag pattern or more of a low of day break. And looking at the 5 also looks good as well. So I like when both of them look good because it makes me feel a little bit more confident about the trade working out. And then as it starts to show some weakness, it's not moving very quickly, but it starts to show some weakness right there. And I end up going short. I get 3 of the 1,000 puts and I got filled at 31.18. Didn't break down as quick as I wanted to see it, but there's still a lot of weakness. So the conviction in the trade is still there. And then if it takes out that 1,004, I feel like there's a chance for this to really follow through. So I'm just giving it a minute because it hasn't given me a reason to get out. I'm a big fan of getting out fast when it really starts to go against me. But I'll give something a minute or two to work out if it's just kind of hanging right at my entry. And then especially when it starts to work in my favor like it's doing right now. And then if this makes a new low a day, I think there's a chance this can get some selling pressure. So now it breaks the new low. And you start to see it speed up a little bit. There was a lot of orders that just came through because if anybody's long, I'm sure that's where they'd want to stop out. So that way they're not wrong and on the other side of the trade and start to feel a lot of pain. And then it really starts to speed up here. And then I just want to see what happens at 1,000 because this was a big area last week and there was a lot of size at 1,000. So I just want to give it a chance to break, but it kind of holds up. So it made an effort to break. And then there was a lot of buying that happened. And now it's really starting to bounce off 1,000. So I was thinking that, hey, we may not break that first attempt just because there was a lot of buyers that stepped up. That's a big psychological level. So maybe it's not going to break today. Maybe it holds up. And just in case if it did, I ended up just getting out of the contracts right there, and I sold them for $32.45. I feel like I did an all right job at giving it a chance. I really wanted to see that 1,000 break and then kind of get below and stay below it. It did not do that, so I made sure to just get out of the trade. So now let's get into the RBLX trade. So I had to pull back off the open, quickly got bought back up, found some support right around 106, above the 9 EMA, above the VWAP, high of days right around 109, also knowing all-time high and pre-market high are above. I do have the 110 calls preloaded. I could have traded the 109s because that actually would have been better right at the money, but I quickly clicked on the 110s, so I just went with it. And then as this comes up to 109, that's going to be the area where I want to be long, because if it takes out high a day, then maybe this has a chance to catch momentum, has a quick move up to 109, and I go long 3 110 calls, and I got them for $4.75. And then it had a nice 109 break, and then I wanted to see this hold above that, but I also wanted to see it really start to move very quickly in my favor. And even though I'm up on this trade, it's had a lot of issues right around that 109.50, and I was looking at the ask, 109.50 to 109.52, it just could not get through. And I'm not that patient. So when it was hanging around there for about a minute and it just would not move that fast, the moment it started to pull back a bit, I just wanted to get out of the trade, take the quick profits, and I ended up selling those contracts at $5.40. So now let's go check out the P&L. Ended up taking 2 trades, 100% win rate, got a nice scalp on Tesla, and then the quick scalp to the upside on RBLX. Made $380 on the Tesla trade, $195 on RBLX to be up $575 on the day, which is great. That was the trade recap. I appreciate you watching the video. Feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. I just wanted to highlight a couple cool things I have to offer. The first is going to be my newsletter watch list. This is going to be what I post on my private Twitter 30 minutes before market open every day. And what I'm doing is I'm doing a very quick highlight of the SPY, the Qs, the bigger picture, the upside level that I'm looking at, the downside level that I'm looking at, the market news or the catalyst that day. And then I'm going to list 4 to 6 names that I'm watching, my favorites that day, and then the catalyst behind them if there's any news, the bigger picture idea, what's going on the daily chart, and then the levels to the upside and the downside. And then I add some mental notes at the bottom, kind of what I'm thinking that day, make sure to keep my expectations in check and follow my process. And the second thing is going to be a one-on-one call. So if you want something that's less of a commitment and you just want to talk to me about my process and how I approach the market, this is going to be great. It's a one-on-one live call for 1 hour. So if you're interested in any one of these 2 things, there will be links in the description below. Feel free to check them out.